Traditionally, you would say that only certain companies fall under the category of being a technology company. Now, what would you call a transportation company like Tesla? Would you call that a technology company? Would you call that a car company?
Mm,
That's the question, right? So, the
sure.
definition of what we call software and what we call technology is changing.
Yes.
Technology becomes so pervasive, and so has AI, that every business, every company will be AI enabled.
There's a lot of scaremongering out there with people saying
Hmm.
that AI is going to displace,
Yeah.
is jobs displacement, is going to be millions of people out of work.
Hmm.
And it's not like before. It's not like the Industrial Revolution where new jobs get created. This is different. Well, what's your thoughts on that, Sridhar? How do you think this is going to play out over the next five to 10 years?
I do think that new jobs will get created. And I mean, if you've seen, if you've seen industrial revolution create new jobs like machine operators, you
Yeah,
will need AI operators in the future, where you need people to, I mean, you will still need the human ingenuity, human judgment to kind of do
of
the
course.
final check, to take decisions. That will never go away. And AI will remain as tools, power tools, to
Mm,
enable people to take the right decision. Instead of taking a lot of time, instead of doing things manually, they just have a better way of doing it. I mean, there is a truth there. There may be fewer jobs. I mean, there'll be some jobs which will be automated, and then
yeah.
but there'll also be creation of new opportunities, new jobs, maybe higher skill, different types of job which uses AI to do certain things in a very creative and innovative way.
Yeah, I saw a clip the other day. The CEO of Nvidia, I think he said it maybe last at the end of last year or earlier this year, about how software engineering, there was going to be far less demand for software engineers because everyone's going to be a software engineer through no code platforms and dragging and
Hmm.
dropping code and creating applications in a very simple way. Do you see it like that, or do you still think software engineering has got a big future?
I think software engineering is, well, so okay, here's the question is, for example, traditionally, you would say that only certain companies fall under the category of being a technology company. Now, what would you call a transportation company like Tesla? Would you call that a technology company? Would you call that a car company?
Mm,
That's the question, right? So, the
sure.
definition of what we call software and what we call technology is changing.
Yes.
Technology becomes so pervasive, and so has AI, that every business, every company will be AI enabled without
Yeah.
them even knowing it. And they
Yeah.
would employ these, call it AI operators or users, who would be using these technologies as commonly as you use a computer today.
Yeah. That's a
So
really good answer.
that's a
Yeah.
transformative power. This can go much deeper and much far than what we've seen.
Yeah. 100%. No, I completely agree. I think our perception of certain vocations will change as well. Not so much, not in
Mhm.
every case the vocation themselves, I suppose. But no, that's really interesting. What are you most excited about, Sridhar? About in terms of this boom in generative AI? What do you think is going to be the most positive change we see over the next couple of years?
I think what it will enable us to, a lot of organizing. See, there's this there's always this debate about how fast do things evolve, right? From
Yeah.
a point of view of technology rollout, meaning technology development is one thing, but how fast or how quickly does it get into the hands of the people? So we're
Yeah.
talking about, productivity enhancement and citizen services. If I have to do something, if I have to order a service from a government portal, how quickly can I get those citizen services? Things like that, right? So in a futuristic world, all that is within the power of your mobile. In a lot of countries, you already see that, but that's where things are heading, right? In terms
Yeah.
of being able to access and get things done very quickly, very efficiently, without doing a lot of running around. And that's definitely exciting. Getting that into the hands of people in their day to day use.
Yeah, that's the challenging part, isn't it? I think, and that's the real battle. It's like the technology is there, really, isn't it? To do to do incredible things, to increase productivity, to do incredible things generally across so many areas.
Right.
But it's the manifestation of that technology innovation has to be it has to be real for people to use and
Correct.
benefit from it, doesn't it? If you
Correct.
have to be
Correct.
a Java developer to benefit from certain things, then obviously people, the man in the street's not going to be able to ever realize that technological capabilities. Adopting a SaaS model, obviously, which came out of the cloud, the shift to the
Hmm.
cloud, that sounds like it was the big moment for Zoho then.
Yes.
In terms of growth and product innovation, it obviously changed everything for you guys, didn't it? By the looks of it. Let me just quickly ask you though, Sridhar, before we talk about that, and obviously the challenges that came with that growth. Um, the late 90s, early 2000s, you alluded to the dot-com boom there. Maybe some listeners may not be familiar with that, but or they
Hmm.
probably would have heard of it. But I'm just curious to know. That was a very exciting time, okay, in technology and IT. And a lot of people have said there's a lot of parallels from that time to right now in terms of the excitement and buzz around AI and AI
Hmm.
capability.
Right.
What's your take on that? Do you see parallels? Do you think there's similarities?
I think so. And I think while the dot com bubble was the first tech bubble, bubble has always been the bubble. So if you go back to the,
Yeah,
the gold rush in the old California days, it's
yeah,
similar. So whenever there's huge opportunities, the first thing that it attracts is huge amount of capital and venture capital as well. And then everybody tries to get into that thinking there's a huge payday waiting.
yeah.
However, the reality takes time to set in, and that means that that opportunity is limited and only certain companies can you know s-
We'll benefit from it.
will
Yeah,
benefit from it.
yeah, sure.
And that's the same we see in AI as well. So every other company is doing something in AI. So there is a lot of hype around AI, but there is value, but there is also a lot of hype.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there'll be losers and winners, but the problem is there'll be more losers than winners, won't it? There always are. And it's
Always,
the famous
always is.
story about pets.com, wasn't it? And but
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
out of all that carnage of the bubble bursting in 2001 or whatever it was, became
yeah,
Amazon.com, and that was obviously
yeah,
one of the most
yeah.
successful companies ever.